Alright, this one is going to be a tutorial on how to make a vocaloid scream. I'm a fan of metal and screamo music. That's why I started going into Christian metal. And I really wanted to make vocaloid music that sounded like the kind of music that I was into. And I looked for it online, Google searched a bunch of tutorials and stuff like that, and wasn't really that successful. I had to figure it out mostly on my own, but I did find a couple good threads. And so I figured I would compile that experience and put it in one place for you. So without further wasting time, let's get right in. So there's a particular track from an artist that I like that really got me into the music in the first place. And the intro is just phenomenal. So I'll play like 18 seconds of it. Turn down your speakers. It might be a little loud. Maybe I'll turn down mine for you. And let's get going. Oh, gotta make sure I got the thing on mute. Okay, it is. So that's what we're trying to get to sound like. First I'll go over here and turn all that off. And then I'll go over here. So I'm going to Martha Stewart this. First thing you need to do is get your vocaloid out. Let's send that to 2 for now. I'll switch back to 1 later. I'm going to put Maximus on so it'll kind of give us some dynamics. Maybe I could just turn the volume up. Alright. And we'll make a note. And it sounded like that was an ah, so let's make this an ah instead of la. Then the next thing we're going to do is something quite tedious. You'll go over to here if you've got PA Pro, but you'll basically set your grid to 1/64, and you'll zoom in enough that you can see the little ticks. And then you'll go over to pitch bend and pitch bend sensitivity. And pitch bend sensitivity essentially determines, well, first we'll do pitch bend. Do that first. Pitch bend. We'll set that to automated, and we'll place a note. And we'll double click that. So the first initial note will be natural. There won't be any pitch bend, that your notes will be on track. Then we'll put one as far up as we can go. And then we'll put one as far down as we can go. And we'll repeat this process tediously for 1/4. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as with anything with life, you get out what you put in, so put in as much as you can. We'll finish also on the neutral. You can double click that to make sure it goes back to 0 pitch bend. Then you can drag and highlight the notes to notes. Control C, set your bar, Control V. I'll click somewhere and drag that back down. Go over here, Control V, click somewhere, drag that back down. Here, V, click, drag. And so what we've got is no pitch bend coming into the scream, and then we've got no pitch bend exiting the screen. And as you'll notice, the red line right here says that your bass note is a D, but it'll go up to D sharp and it'll go down to C sharp. And that's where the pitch bend sensitivity comes into play. But let's see what it sounds like right now. We want to turn that off because I don't want to. Sounds like a spaceship. The guy said on the forum that when a singer, a true live human singer, is screaming, that their vocal cords are vibrating very, very dynamically. So what we want to do is we want to increase that pitch bend. Let's go up to 6. And as you see, it kind of instead of just going to the D sharp and C sharp, we're now going all the way up to almost an F, no, G, and G sharp, G to G, A to G, whatever. Let's listen. It sounds better. I figured out that it sounds pretty good on 12. Oops. Set that to 12. If you double click, it'll reset to 0. You can also send it as far up to 24 if you want. But I think it has too high and too low and it just doesn't sound right. So I'm going to set it on 12. Now you can affect the dynamics, which will affect how loud it literally is. See, we've heard normal. Let's hear loud. Little harsh. And soft. If you put it at 0, it will be 0. There will be no sound. So that could be fun. You could put the dynamics down on the low, and then we could come over here to the Maximus, and we could boost the sound. And what would we get? Basically, we'd be fighting ourselves. So I'm going to go back and knock that off. Okay, so the dynamics is basically helping you on your dynamics, loudness versus softness. Brightness is affecting the top end of your EQ. Standard brightness. Listen to the presence, the really high, breathy, indescribably high pitched sounds. Breathiness, that one would be fun to put. We've heard 0 breathiness, but we'll do it one more time. Let's put it all the way at max. That sounds great, or will sound great, knowing what can happen. So I'm going to reset that for now. Actually, let's put it in the middle. Let's put it at 64. Yeah, I definitely want that breathiness up. But I'll turn it down now so that we can have a scientific sound of what everything sounds like. The clearness. I believe this is a mute on the upper end. No, it's not. It's a boost on the presence on the EQ. All right. Gender factor. Now this one's really fun when it comes to morphing the sound as it goes. So we can go or we can go chipmunk. Or we can go giant. Or, and this is the best part, we can do some advanced screaming when we get to the full program. Automation, control click, double click. Actually, I want to start here. I'm going to go to here. The lower the number, the higher the chipmunk. So I guess it's the amount of manliness that they have. The more manliness, the deeper the voice. That's how I remember gender factor. So this curve should start out low and morph to a chipmunk and then return back to normal. So you can get that disturbed or whatever going on. So that's pretty fun to play with the gender factor on that. Portamento timing, that adds the slide at the end of the knot. It's going to be hard to control any portamento in an atonal scream. So it's not really going to be effective here, and I'm not going to be able to demonstrate it. But the opening, this one's fun. This one's also difficult to program because you got to do it on individual notes. But basically, opening is to say how wide the mouth is open as they sing the note. This is full open mouth. And this is, I'm going to turn this off actually. It's still there, I just turned it off. And let's do this for science. So that's standard default opening. And let's go pretty closed. Let's do that a couple times. So the closed mouth has a different audio quality to that, and that'll really help you out when you want to make your notes sound different between each other. What if I put it in the middle? Okay. So I wanted to add breathiness, and I wanted to add that automated gender factor that we did. We did the pitch bend sensitivity, that's where we want it. Pitch bend. Oh, yeah, and there's growl. I forgot that that exists. That's how much I use it. Let's check it out. See what it does. Well, we've heard zero growl. Let's hear it again. Let's hear full growl. I want to hear what growl sounds like in a clean environment. That sounds like it's already kind of doing what we're doing with the 64 beats trick. I think the growl could add to our little experiment here. So let's go ahead and turn it on and leave it on. And turn the breathiness on. And turn the weird slide on. And now we've got a thing. Might want to add more brightness and a little bit of clearness and see how that sounds. Okay, so that is what the Vocaloid program can do on its own. Now let's start adding stuff to it. Most of the forums I found recommended this charsesis. So I'm going to, it's a free plugin, and it's pretty simple. So we're at bar 3, so we're going to go ahead and go to bar 2 to 5. Make sure that's on mute. And we'll listen to the sound. And now we'll turn charsesis on. This is just the default. And what we'll do, there's a whole bunch of, there's no presets, so it seems like there's presets, but I don't know what they do. It's hard to tell. So you're pretty much on your own. And there's not really much to tell you how to operate this thing. You're just going to have to play with the buttons. It probably won't crash your computer, so you should just play with the buttons and see what happens. I'm going to turn up the voices. Like, way up. Add the delay range. That's going to make the voices sound more varied. Well, doesn't that sound great? Only messing with 2 buttons and it already sounds great. I'm not going to mess with the rest of it because it sounds good. It sounds close to where we want to go. So I'm messing with the voices and I'm messing with the delay range. I believe we can mess with the minimum delay too. I might adjust that. It sounds very breathy at this point, which is perfect. Okay, so that's what charsesis does. It is it's basically a choruser. Next thing we want to do maybe is add some distortion. So use whatever distortion thing you want to use. I like this one because it's pretty basic and straightforward. Okay. That's about what I did on my test run that I did offline. But this is about where it sounds like. So here's our scream. Oh, let me take that gender factor off. Try it again. And let's go. Where did I leave the fruity breath sounds? Hold on a minute. Put this on my other monitor so I can browse peace. Let's look for breath. Search. Oh, that's where I put it. When you, I guess, certain versions of the vocaloid include a breath sound as well as mutant or whatever, monster or something like that. And those are basically just wave files. And you can why is that saved to OneDrive? That's such a pain in the ass. I want to save this to my computer that is in my house. Open file location. Cut. Back. FPC. Data. Nope. Close that. I wonder what happens if I cut up. Looks like I go to documents. Maybe it's the other place. I've got it saved to two places, my computer and documents and my hard drive. So I've got to make sure I check both places. You know what? Forget the preset. Just find the breath sounds. Be faster to create the preset all over again. There it is. There. Let's save some searchable terms. Okay. We want to send that to track 3. Actually, we don't. We want to send that to track 2. Okay. What was the reference sound like? It sounds manipulated, like they did this. Where did I leave that? That was on the desktop. It doesn't have to be perfect. Anyway. I don't know how they got that breath sound. It sounds awesome. They might not even use Mika, but hey, whatever. They did an awesome job at it. So here we go. Let's see about that one. Yes. And then we will do mute. Yes. Here. Pattern 1. Boop. Nope, that's not pattern 1. There. Pattern 1. We'll put that there. We'll go to pattern 2. And we'll do a silent note. And we need it to last until here. And we will turn off the vocals. We will renders audio clip, turn off, and go. And we'll send that to channel 2. Go over here. Oh, it's not there. Mute that. Close that. That doesn't need to be open. That's still there. Okay. This. Normalize. Yeah, not bad for a tutorial. So hopefully that can help you get your vocals to sound a little more screamy. And it should help you with a couple different techniques on how to scream or growl or screech. The scream, growl, and screech all has to come down to the gender factor as well as how high you pace your original note. Let's see what happens. Oh, we want to mute these. Just take them off. Unmute that. Actually solo that. Ooh, what if we do this? Yeah, it's just, there's a lot to play with it, but the main points that I want to drive home is put your grid to 64 and up, down, the whole length of the note that you want to have screamed. And just play with the things, and of course, as always, use your ears. Listen to it. And having a good reference track to check yourself against to make sure that I mean, it'll sound right, but then you check it against your reference track and it just sounds different, which is fine. It's good to be different. You can't really plagiarize people. So, anyway, I hope this was helpful. And yeah, I guess I took 36 minutes to get the point across. This should get you to where you want to go. Things that you will need other than the Vocaloid software. You're going to need charsesis. Let me check and see if I can find that. This could be it. I have no responsibility and take no responsibility for downloading files. As always, download at your own risk. I don't know what this file is. This isn't where I got it from. I don't remember where to get it from, but you can find it out there if you spell it right. And it's out there, and it's commonly known, so it should be fine. Just make sure your antivirus is strong, or your hacking skills, or your fixing skills are up to date. Your music program probably has a distortion plugin. You can use that. It's pretty simple. Between the 64 beats, the charsesis, and a delay or distortion plugin. There's a thing called, let's see, is this my generators? Yeah, I want the effects. Focus Screamer. This one's pretty basic. Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. Maybe not. Let's set the default. I don't know. It depends on what your tastes are. But Vocus Screamer was another one of those free ones that I found out there, and it gets talked about a lot. It essentially sounds like a flanger, as they had described it, or a distortion. But rather than use these obscure things, I decided to just do it manually. So, doing it manually, if you know what you're doing, will get you there, and this tutorial will hopefully get you screaming all those lines that you've always wanted to have scream. Cool thing, what I like about a Vocaloid doing my vocals is they can do things that I can't. They can sing on pitch, for one. They can sing sustain notes, they can do vibrato, and they can do screams. So I hope you enjoy doing whatever it is you do. So take care, and if you do make screamo music, tag it in the comments or something. Let me know. I want to hear it. I enjoy metal, so.